So in this class today, we will discuss about the transformer faults and their protection. So in generally, transformers suffers from the following types of faults, which are the overcurrent due to overloads and external short circuits. Second is the terminal faults. Third is the winding faults. Fourth is the open circuit faults. Fifth is the overfluxing faults. And last, that is called the through faults. So in all types of faults, terminal faults, winding faults, already I have discussed, and terminal faults are common. Then open circuit faults means there is a open circuit in winding, that is called the open circuit fault. So a terminal faults happens sometimes, but winding faults in transformer does rarely happen, and open circuit also rarely happen. But the overfluxing and through faults, they happens in the transformers usually. So let us first discuss what is the overfluxing and through faults, because we have to discuss here the what is overfluxing and what is through faults in the transformers. So overfluxing is nothing but during the operation an electrical power transformer is subjected to carry more than above mentioned flux density as per its design limitations by the manufacturer, then the transformer is said to have faced overfluxing problem. And the flux density in a transformer can be expressed by this formula, that is flux density B equals to V by F, where C is constant and F is the frequency and V is the applied voltage. So what is overfluxing? Overfluxing means during the normal operation, if transformer is subjected to carry the flux density that is more than the rated flux density as per design by the manufacturers, then it is said to be that transformer has occurred or faced overfluxing problem. Now this flux density in the transformer can be understood by a formula expressed as a B equal to V by F. So what is here relation between flux density, that is the flux with voltage V and frequency F? This indicates that if the voltage increases above the rated value, then there will be a overfluxing, or if the frequency has gone down below the rated frequency, then also there can be a overfluxing problem, because B is directly proportional to V here and it is inversely proportional to the frequency. So same thing is described here, that magnetic flux density is therefore proportional to the quotient of the voltage and frequency, that is V by F. So overfluxing can therefore occur either due to the increase in voltage or decrease in frequency or both. The probability of overfluxing is relatively high in case of step-up transformers in the power stations compared to the step-down transformers in the substation, where the voltage and frequency usually remains constant. So what does it mean? That this overfluxing problem, this can happen if the voltage increases or frequency is decreasing, and this probability occurred relatively in case of step-up transformers in power stations compared to the step-down transformers in the substations, because we know that in substations we have installed the step-down transformer, and in case of step-down transformer generally the voltage and frequency usually remains constant. So if voltage and frequency usually remains constant, that does not define a overfluxing because of this formula that is called the B equal to V by F. Because if V is constant, F is constant, then B is not going to vary, so the overfluxing will not occur. Now next we'll discuss the what is throw faults. This is also a common fault in case of transformer. So the throw fault is nothing but a fault which occurs outside the protected zone, or in simple words, the external fault is called the throw faults. As we have seen that in case of distance protection, differential protection, or any type of protection, we define a protection zone. So if fault happens within the protected zone, then the relay operated and that fault can be isolated from the system. But if fault is occurring outside the protected zone, then that is called the external faults. So here in case of transformer, these type of faults are defined as a throw faults. So two kind of throw faults is considered as throw fault. One is external short circuit and another is because of the overload condition. So for example, let us see, this is a generator and this is a load and this is a production zone. So for generator, this is a relay which protects the generator, and on right hand side there is a load connected. So what are the relays, or where relays are placed? One is this relay near the generator side, and in between the production zone there are two relays which are placed here, and in this side also there are two relays which are placed here. This is the parallel feeder system which has been shown here, and load is connected beyond this bus. So if fault happens to be here, that has been shown with this arrow, in that situation corresponding to generator protection, this fault is called the throw faults because this is the outside or beyond the production zone limit, and production zone limits are defined here by these lines or toward the generator side. So this is example of the diagram that what is throw faults. If fault is here, then we call this is a throw faults. So far we have understand what is the throw faults, and here what is the overfluxing in the transformer. Now we will define that differential protection of a transformer, because to protect a transformer it is generally applied a differential protection, and the principle of operation of differential protection already we have understood in the previous classes. So a differential protection scheme are mainly used for protection against the phase-to-phase fault and phase-to-earth faults. That we must remember that differential protection scheme are mainly used for the protection against the phase-to-phase fault and phase-to-earth faults. So the power transformer is star connected, that is a diffusion. First let us discuss the first circuit diagram, so it will be more clear to you. Now this is the transformer. Now since this side of transformer, this is a power transformer under dotted line, these are the windings. So at this side this is a delta connected winding, and this side this is a star connected winding. Now beyond this delta connected and star connected windings, there are CTs are connected. These are the three CTs and all the phases, and here also these CTs in the all the three phases. So what has been done here, that in case of delta side, these transformer winding are connected, a power transformer winding is connected in delta form. So in this case the CTs which are placed near to the delta winding, that are connected in star fashion, and where the windings are in star connected form, that side CTs which are placed here, they are usually connected in delta pattern. So we must remember that in case of transformer production, delta connected side windings have a star connected CTs and star connected winding side of CTs has a delta connected winding. This is usually done to have a balanced voltage and balanced current at both sides of these CTs. And after that, these ends of the CTs are connected together with the restraining coils in all the three phases. And another end, this side, that is called the star connected side, is coming here, and through this restraining coil and through this end of the connection we have connected operating coil. So these three operating coils are connected through the tap of the restraining coils, and finally this point is given a earthing. So what is the main thing in this transformer production circuit? That in normal operating condition, once there is no fault, so current whatever flowing in CTs, that is this side CTs and this side CTs, they remain balanced. So voltage induced is also balanced in both sides CTs. So no current flows through these operating coils. So once the operating coils are not getting any current, it means there is no fault and system will not be operated, or the operating coil will not give a signal for tripping command. But if there is a fault happens to be in the transformer delta side or star side, that is called the within production zone, so the balanced current which is flowing in the star connected CTs and delta connected CTs, that will be disturbed. So the difference of the current will be flowing through these operating coils, and these operating coils will operate to give the trip command signal. So that is how the transformer winding are protected with the help of differential protection, and that has been explained in this circuit diagram. So let us go back to this slide. So what has been written here, that the power transformer is star connected on one side and delta connected on the another side. The CTs on the star connected side are delta connected, and those are delta connected side are star connected. So the neutral of the current transformer star connection and power transformer star connections are grounded. So same thing written here, whatever I have explained with the help of this circuit diagram, that the delta connection side CTs are connected in star fashion, and star connected winding side CTs are connected in delta fashion, and ends of this CTs are connected with the restraining coil, and the star connected side neutral is earthed through one end having a operating coil. So this is what about the circuit diagram of the delta stars connected transformer winding with the differential protection scheme. Now the operating coil carries no current, as the current are balanced on both sides of the power transformer. When the internal fault occurs in the power transformer winding, the balance is disturbed and the operating coils of the differential relay carry current corresponding to the difference of the current among two sides of the transformer. Thus relative the main circuit breaker on both sides of the power transformer. So same thing I have defined here with the help of circuit diagram, that during the normal condition this current remains balanced in both sides of the CTs. So there is no any difference of the current which is flowing in this operating coil. But if there is a fault happens to be within the protected zone, then this balance current in both sides CTs will disturbed and the difference of current will be created to flow in the operating coil, and operating coil will operate to give the command for tripping the circuit breaker. So that is what about this explanation, and same thing has been defined here. But what we see that in normal case both the CT remains balanced, but sometimes it may happen that because of the manufacturing defect the current ratios of both sides CTs may not be equal. So once there is a difference of turns ratio in both sides CTs, so there may be a difference of current exist in both sides of CTs, and this difference of current may flow in the operating coil. So if there is no fault in the transformer, then also the system may operate and it may give a trip command. So this problem may occur generally in case of transformer. So this is the problem associated with the differential protection scheme, and that has been defined here. That is, when the transformer is energizing, the transient inverse of the magnetizing current is flows in the transformer. This current is as large as 10 times the full load current and its decay respectively. So this magnetizing current flows in the primary winding of the power transformer, due to which it causes a difference in the current transformer output, and it makes the differential protection of the transformer to operate falsely. So what he is explaining that, or you might have also observed that if there is a no power supply in the transformer, and once the supply is switched on, so there is a humming noise comes out from the transformer. If you are nearby the transformer, you may hear this type of noise. Why it happened? Because when the supply is switched on to the transformer and all loads are connected to the transformer, so there will be an inverse current which will be the 10 times the full load current which will be flowing, and as soon as the system is stabilizes, then this current will decay respectively. So because of this magnetizing current or because of this inverse current, the system may operate, system may operate falsely once there is no fault, because of the differential protection of the transformer to operate falsely. So in general case this may happen. So it should not happen. To overcome this limitation or to overcome this type of fault, that without any fault in the system and due to the inverse current in the system gets operated, that should not happen. So to avoid this or to overcome this problem, we may place the kick fuses across the relay, and these fuses having a inverse type characteristics. So in this situation they do not operate in the inverse current situations, and once there is a fault occurs, then the fuse is blown out and fault current flows through the relay coil to operate the production system. So same thing has been explained here, that to overcome this problem the kick fuse is placed across the relay coil. So these fuses are of the time limit type with an inverse characteristics and do not operate in short duration of the switch in the surge. When fault occurs, the fuse blow out and the fault current flows through the relay coils and operate the production system. So this is the limitations of the differential protection scheme when applied in case of transformers, and there are so many other limitations also, so that will be discussed in the next class. So today in this class we have discussed what are the different types of faults may happen in case of transformers, and in those faults we have defined the throw faults, and that is called the overfluxing fault. So overfluxing fault is dependent upon the voltage and frequency, and through fault is depend upon the if fault happens to be outside the protected zone. Then we have discussed the differential protection, how it is applied with the help of the circuit diagram, and what are the problems with the differential protection and how to overcome these problems. So this is all about this lecture.